our dreams. And then dreams which are from shaitan. Shaitan may come and put ideas in people's minds. Sometimes you wonder, a thought comes to your head and you wonder, where did that come from? I wasn't thinking that kind of thought, and then here you are thinking it. And this is why Prophet ﷺ told us that we're not held to account for our thoughts, because evil thoughts may come into our heads, without our intention. And if we were to be held to account for every thought that came in our mind, we would be in very serious trouble. So Allah, being most merciful, does not hold us to account for the thoughts that we have. And what happens instead is that we are only held to account when we speak on the thoughts and we act on it. So what happens then is that a jinn may put, like the same qareen, may put the thoughts of that in the mind of that child, images, visions, or concepts where the child expresses these things thinking it is his or her own, not aware that it came from another source. In any case, Yazid Arif, when he read this in my book, he took a local Maulana there who had the title, they called him the Jinn Maulawi, meaning that he was a person who was dealing with a lot of people who had possession, etc. He took him to visit this child and the family, and when he had a bit of difficulty getting there, but eventually he was able to get in to see the child. And the initial reaction of the child when he saw the scholar was to run, to scream. Eventually they were able to get the child, hold the child down. He recited Quran over the child, and the child stopped, changed, stopped speaking Tamil, reverted back to himself, and the whole state that he was in left him. Allahu Akbar. So the issues of possession, whether partial or complete, these are realities which we experience in our world today. Much of it serves to reinforce shirk, which is in common practice in various parts of the Muslim world as well as in the non-Muslim world. Mostly in the non-Muslim world, but unfortunately today amongst Muslims we find practices of shirk all over, and as such you will find that objects, places, things become possessed, visions appearing before people, so that the various shrines, like places like Ajmer, where people are making pilgrimage in the thousands, to a grave, a mausoleum, and performing all kinds of acts of worship at places like this, which is in fact out and out shirk. They will go there and have all kinds of experiences. People will go there with illnesses, etc., and they find themselves coming back feeling better, and miraculous cures, etc. Now, we also find, as an aspect of possession and interference of the jinn, magic. Even magic itself, is a result of the agency of the jinn. People involved in magic are mostly involved in some acts of sacrilege, but the way in which magic actually affects individuals is through the intervention of the jinn. Scholars of the past, have identified this. Similarly, the evil eye, which is real. I know many times people, who have come from Western backgrounds, been exposed to scientific teachings, etc. The idea of the eye, the evil eye, this is something that people tend to want to deny. But Prophet Muhammad said, Al-Ainu Haqq. Al-Ainu Haqq. That the evil eye is a reality. And he gave us ways of treating it. But this issue of the eye, as Ibn al-Qayyim had said, every possessor of the evil eye is jealous. There's jealousy which is involved in it, but not every jealous person possesses the evil eye. It doesn't mean just because a person is jealous automatically the evil eye is in effect and people are being affected, but it is in specific cases, and these specific cases are a result of intervention by the jinn. Now, in terms of exorcism, how do we treat those who are possessed? First and foremost, let me say that from an Islamic perspective, there is no such thing as an exorcist. No such thing as a profession where a person becomes a professional exorcist. We have this in the Christian tradition. They have a position in the church known as the exorcist. A person gets special training for it, and that's his job. In the case of Islamic tradition, people were not taking on this as specific roles, as I am an exorcist, that's my job, people, that's my 9 to 5, I'm an exorcist. No, what would happen is that people would get ill, through effects of the jinn, etc., and they would go to a local scholar, or they would go to their friends or whatever, and whoever felt a desire to try to help, they would seek to help them by recitations, Quranic recitations, etc., and in this way they were treated. How was that time? The one point I'd like to mention here is that there's a book called Medicine of the Prophet, in which it is described that the Prophet ﷺ prescribed amulets. Actually, the term used is ruqya or ruqa. And the translator of this book, Khuli, I think his name is, he translates this as amulets. So it appears that the Prophet ﷺ is prescribing amulets for people, but this is a mistranslation. The ruqa or ruqya are incantations, recitations, things which are said over a person who may be possessed. From an Islamic perspective, these recitations should be using Quranic verses, or it should be in statements which are intelligible. You have people who make amulets, which are commonly known in the Indo-Pakistani part of the world as ta'weez, where people will make these little writings and things, and they wrap it up and put it in a little case, and you wear it around your neck or on your arm, etc., etc. When you take these things apart and you look and see what is written on them, you will find it has a bunch of lines and letters and numbers and these kind of things, and this is all considered in the category of shirk. This is not acceptable. These numbers which people have assigned to Quranic verses, saying Bismillah is 786, this is a common number which people use, they will write it, 786, etc. And they believe this means Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Please know that it does not mean Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. 786 does not mean that at all. What they have done is they've given values to Arabic letters. And adding up these letters, they're getting 786. However, this same 786 could be used to create a sentence in which you're saying there is no God and Muhammad was a magician. You could write that out in Arabic and have it add up to 786 also. So please note that 786 has no special value. It does not mean Bismillah. And this use of numbers and letters to signify Quranic verses is nonsense. It has no basis in Islamic teachings at all. In terms of the treatment, and my time is running out, and actually there's a lot of material here. But anyway, I've just tried to shorten it down. In terms of methodology, what was the prophetic methodology? The prophetic methodology began with undoing charms. For example, in the case when a magic spell was cast on him, he was informed by angels that the person who did the charm was a particular individual, and he had made the charm and put it in the bottom of a particular well. So he sent Ali ibn Abi Talib to go and get this charm and take it apart, and whilst he was taking it apart, he recited the quls over it. So a part of the prophetic methodology is, if one finds a charm in one's home, and there are people unfortunately in the Muslim world who are very much involved in magic, people either because they want to get married, and there's a book on the market printed in Pakistan and India. It is also called Prophetic Medicine, and it has all kinds of things that you can write down if you want somebody to fall in love with you, if you want to have children, if you want this to happen or that to happen, you do this thing, you put it in water, you drink it.